Caleb sold me on this one, but I'm going to put the pressure on him. Bank on it. Brought to you by Commercial Bank. Caleb says 2024 is Tennessee's best athletic season ever. What?
So
are you really on that one? Are you on that train?
I'm asking the question. Is 2024 Tennessee's best athletic season ever? And by the way, not season. That's an academic school year, 2024-2025. No, it's 2024 Tennessee athletics best calendar year ever.
Okay, so you're including a national championship by the baseball team. You're including an elite 8 run by the basketball team. And let's face it, these are the sports that matter. Now, there are 2 revenue sports at Tennessee. That is basketball and that is football. They matter the most. Caleb, the basketball team made the Elite 8. The football team last season, I was a little taken aback, a little disappointed. So I can't roll with you because I put the majority of the emphasis and the rating of success on those 2 programs, the revenue programs. And then after that, it would be baseball and women's basketball, which I think are significant, but not revenue programs. So I have trouble saying that this was better than a 98 season. I mean, I have trouble saying it's even better than some of Peyton Manning's seasons because you had the Lady Vols that were fortifying that championship medal. So I have trouble following you there. I think that's a little bit of a reach. Aside from 98, is there anybody else that you think in our lifetimes that really compares to what Tennessee did this past calendar year in athletics?
No, 98's the year that actually dominates the most. And that's why 2001 comes close when I think track won a national title, basketball, both basketball programs were good and football was good. But here's why I'm making this a technicality, Dave. I said calendar year. The 98 team didn't win the national title until January the 4th, 1999.
Oh, tricky.
Yes.
Look at him.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. They didn't win it until 1999. Now, you still have a strong case for 98 because the 98 men's basketball team made the NCAA tournament. They did lose in the first round, but they made it. They won the national title in women's basketball with the greatest team in history that went 39-0. And I think you can objectively say the 98 season before the national title in football was still better than this season before the national title. I mean, they went 12-0 and won the and won the SEC title and were number 1 before 1999. So, I think you can still make the case that the 98 season was better. But the problem is, and I know, Dave, you're going to be like, this sport's not as important, but every sport was good in 2024. And here's the thing. There were 2 sports that were the best season they ever had. Men's basketball had its best season in history. Some of you guys will point out the 07-08 team that won 30 games, won the SEC, and reached number 1. This one won the SEC and also made the Elite 8.
That's a tournament sport.
Yeah, it's a tournament sport. And it's tied for the best run they ever had in college basketball. So it's the best season Tennessee basketball ever had.
Okay, now one thing I have on my side, if I want to harken back to that 98 team, correct me if I'm wrong, but the track program was still sky high. I mean, you're developing Olympic performers. So you got to, if you're taking baseball, that's a non-revenue sport with a lot of pride. I'm going to take track because that's a non-revenue sport with a lot of pride.
Yes. However, the track program success actually came more in the mid to early 90s and in the early 2000s. They made the NCAA tournament indoor tournament in 1998. That was as far as they went. And they also made it in indoor and outdoor. That was as far as they went. That's also as far as they went in 2024 in both sports. So there's that.
Okay, if we want to have this debate now.
And where I was at, by the way, just before you go, where I wanted to point out was, see, the baseball team was bad in 98. There was no bad team in 2024.
Right. Okay. You can make that argument, but I ultimately have to judge it on football. And to not show up in the first round of the college football playoffs, I I just can't get that out of my head when I'm evaluating the whole season. That's kind of like, I don't know. To me, that's like Axl Rose to Guns N' Roses. He's the front man. That's the front man. Sure, Slash is the basketball team. He's pretty cool, but ultimately, if Axl can't sing and he can't, you've got problems. So I think from now on, to even have this sort of discussion about the overall athletic department or have this discussion about Tennessee's football program, the new standard is to win a game in the college football playoff. It's not to make the college football playoff. It's to win a game, because we have clearly seen, not to the extent I thought we would, Caleb, but we have seen the delineation between the true competitors and not. Kudos to Arizona State, but I mean, I think they let off the gas.
I think that was some really bad coaching by Steve Sarkisian.
I agree. I agree completely. I think there are a ton of situations that you could look at yesterday and just eye test, or the way the games shook out so far this week, the past week and a half, that you would say that team is significantly better. And right now, Tennessee is not on that group of that team is significantly better. They're not. And they've got to take a step. And that involves not only playing a close game, but winning a game in the college football playoff. With Nico coming back for his second year, unless something happens I'm not aware of, I fully expect this team to win a college football playoff game. And if they don't, I think it's a disappointing season. That's already where my standard is.
So I'm with you. And one of the reasons you have me, by the way, I posed the question all out there, but I'm actually with you. It's 98. And one of the things you have over me is I said Tennessee technically didn't win the title until 99, but they did have to play Ohio State in 2024. They didn't have to play them in 2025. And that blowout happened in 2024. To your other point, look, this is what I said. I told you guys this was going to happen. The one thing that I said from the start was, unlike other sports like the NFL playoffs, the college football playoff was never going to create that much suspense. I think, Dave, do you not agree that, like, in any given year, college football, more than any other sport, has a select few amount of teams that are really capable of winning it all? I mean, maybe three in any given year.
I would have said just one or two previous to NIL. I now think you're seeing four teams, I believe, that can win it, at least two. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm more optimistic about the playoff than ever before, because I think college football can produce 8, 10, 12 teams.
Okay, maybe you're right. But, like, let's just go back to the 98 national title team when Tennessee played Florida State. Do you think there was any team in the country outside of maybe Ohio State that year that could have competed, that could have actually won the national title?
No, I think Tennessee was on a mission. I think they were going to win that year.
And if anybody was going to give them a fight, it would have been Florida State, right? That's the only other team, maybe. 99, was there anybody that was going to beat Florida State?
2020.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't think there was anybody that was going to beat Florida State.
Yeah, and then we know 0-1 Miami was just the greatest of all time. So I think that what you're talking about with the college football playoff, I think it's exposing the gap that people never wanted to admit exists.